What's good, Commanders fans? Quick video here. Just got some news that Ron Rivera will be meeting with Terry McLaurin and Daron Payne at the Combine, which will be happening next week, where they can start some contract negotiations. Now, this is real news. This is not the rumor mill. This was during an interview. Ron Rivera said this with Ben Standig of The Athletic. So this is good news, positive news. I know a lot of people are including in their mock trades for a quarterback like a Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, Aaron Rodgers. I think the guy that everybody always includes is Daron Payne. And there's also a report saying that the Commanders will not be trading, including Chase Young. I know that was a rumor that was flying around all crazy that they will include anybody. Anybody can be traded. Anybody can get it, or anybody can be traded for a stud quarterback. And they debunked that. Now that could be smoke if Aaron Rodgers wants to be traded. I wouldn't be surprised if Ron Rivera did include Chase Young. It is what it is. I think he's just the Commanders are just so desperate for a quarterback. I would not be surprised. I really wouldn't. I wouldn't be surprised because I don't want to make this a Chase Young video. But you listen to some of the things that Ron Rivera says in interviews. He said that Chase Young was very finesse this year and tried to use his speed. And some people took that and ran with it and said that, Ron was kind of saying that Chase was kind of soft this year. He just said he was, pass rushing with a lot of finesse and a lot of speed. He wants to see him play harder. And of course, some of the comments during the year with that Broncos game where he forced a fumble, and Ron Rivera said, we just don't see enough of those plays from Chase Young where he forced a fumble. And some of that is true. We just didn't see a big year from Chase Young. So hopefully he can bounce back like Nick Bosa. We'll see. I don't want to compare him to anything. I'm not going to call him generational or anything like that. But I still have a lot of faith that Chase Young will bounce back next season. Now let's get back to Daron Payne and Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin, I did listen to the John Con podcast as well. Now, the money that he's looking for, that he probably will be looking for, will probably be $18 million or more. Kenny Galladay from the Giants just got paid $18 million per year, and he didn't even get a touchdown this past year. And Terry McLaurin's out here balling with quarterbacks like Case Keenum, Dwayne Haskins, Garrett Gilbert, Taylor Heineke, Kyle Allen, Alex Smith, did he play with Mark Sanchez? I don't think he played with Mark Sanchez. Cole McCoy. So many quarterbacks he's played with. I'm probably forgetting some of the guys that he played with, but he's played with like 30 different quarterbacks. So Terry McLaurin's due, man. Back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, 87 catches in 2020, 77 catches this year, and he's very durable. Played all 17 games this year, played 15 games in 2020, and then played in 14 games in 2019. Now, he said the way that Terry McLaurin might look at it is he's going to wait and see, what DK Metcalf gets paid, what AJ Brown gets paid, Deebo Samuel. All these guys came in at the same time as Terry McLaurin, and they're all going to get big money. DK's a baller. Deebo, what he did to Dallas and does to everybody. He's a baller. AJ Brown from Tennessee, he's a baller as well. You look at some of the other wide receivers, and you got to keep in mind that Ron Rivera did bring in he wanted to bring in Amari Cooper, and he wanted to pay Amari Cooper $22 million. So if you're willing to give that to Amari Cooper, where Terry McLaurin puts up similar numbers and is just as good as Amari Cooper, then Terry McLaurin, his agent, are probably looking at that as well. They're going to keep that in their mind when they do start talking to contract negotiations. I don't know if Terry's going to get $22 million per year, but yeah, Amari Cooper's getting paid 20, Keenan Allen's getting paid 20, Julio Jones is getting paid 22 mil, and DeAndre Hopkins is getting paid $27 million per year. So Terry McLaurin's going to be looking at that stuff, and the quarterback play too. He's going to, probably bring that up into contract negotiations too. Am I really going to get a real quarterback next year, or is it going to be another rookie quarterback that we're going to come in and try to develop? So, who knows on that part, but you got to see what DK Metcalf gets, Deebo Samuel, and this is coming up on his fourth season. So, this is the first time that Terry McLaurin is eligible for an extension coming up this all season, coming up, next week. They're going to be talking about it. So I think Terry McLaurin is probably going to get 20 mil per year. I think that's the starting talks. The guy on John Con's podcast said 18 mil. I just think, I think he's going to get around 20 mil. I think he's going to get 20 mil. I think he hasn't made a Pro Bowl or All Pro or anything like that. That's because of quarterback play too. But I see him getting around $20 million per year. Now, Daron Payne, in his case, he's been solid too. He hasn't made a Pro Bowl or All Pro or anything like that, but he's been solid for sure. You look at his numbers this past year, 17. He's been super durable too, so you can't knock him on that. 17 games, 16 games in 2020, 15 games in 2019, 2018. He played 16 games. So he's been super, super durable. Had 4.5 sacks this past season, 61 tackles, and 15 quarterback hits. You can kind of argue that Tim Settle and Matt Ioannidis are just as productive pass rushers as Daron Payne, but Matt Ioannidis didn't have a great year this year, and Tim Settle didn't get a lot of playing time either. But, Daron Payne, you look at his advanced stats too, 2020, NFL leaders in run stops among interior defensive linemen. Daron Payne led with 33. So he's really good at stopping the run. He's legitimate at that. Like I said, now the fight and all that on the sideline, that just made people, definitely expect him to be traded. I was like, if anybody gets traded, it probably would be him out of the 4 first-round picks on the D-line. I see them keeping Chase, Montez, John Allen. They already extended him. You look at his contract, he's getting paid $19 million per year or $18 million per year. Vita Vea just got a 4-year, $73 million contract, so Daron Payne's going to be looking at that too. Now, Vita Vea is better than Daron Payne, so it might be a little bit less than, maybe like 15, 16 mil, something like that for Daron Payne. I would see something like that. So, we'll see. I mean, we picked up his 5th-year option, and it looks like Ron Rivera wants to keep him. He doesn't want to trade him. So, if we do trade for a big-time quarterback, it's probably going to be a lot of picks. I don't know what player would be included, but all the guys that had been brought up in the trade scenarios, Ron Rivera wants to keep those guys. He wants to keep Terry McLaurin, which I definitely think we should keep. I think it would be silly to trade Terry McLaurin in a trade, because if you trade him for a quarterback, who is he going to be throwing the football to? Nobody else, really. Daron Payne, I would like to keep him, but like I said, if anybody was the most expendable to be traded, you probably look at Daron Payne, to be honest with you. But if they do keep him, I'd be very happy. They do have to. This D-line has to play better, though. They have not played up to expectations for first-round picks. They have not played up to their first-round pick billing, and they haven't played up to the hype. All the hype that came in last year, this defensive line did not play that well up to the hype that came in this offseason, that we were hyped to be a top 5 defense and all that. We definitely didn't play that way. We definitely did not get to the quarterback as we expected. So we got to keep that in mind as well. So maybe you could trade Daron if you trade him for a quarterback. That's the only way I'm going to trade him. I'm not going to trade Daron for a couple of picks or just trade him for another linebacker. Personally, I'd rather just keep him and extend him for that. So you guys let me know what you guys think. Hail to the football team. Let me hail to the Commanders. Peace.